Okay, we are good to go. All right, well, hello, ladies. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week so far. As you guys know, you received your exercises on Tuesdays. Oh, not on Tuesdays, Wednesday, and those exercises were so should have been done on Wednesday. Those same exercises with the bands will be done again Friday and then next Monday, as well as the exercises that you guys got for today. Those exercises will be done today, even if you need to get it in after this. And then on Tuesday of next week. Okay. So today is our next femininity workshop. So as you guys know, our first week we talked about femininity as a whole and how we can use femininity to ultimately get to our desired outcome, whatever that is. I asked you guys the question, what is femininity to you? How do you express it? And then also start thinking about what are your desired outcomes? Do you have the desire to have a spouse, significant other? Do you have the desire to accomplish certain things corporately or business wise? Do you have the desire to be alone, away on an island somewhere, away from everybody? So, depending on whatever your desired outcome is, that will determine how much, or not even how much, how femininity can be used in order to get your desired outcome. We also talked about there being three ways of using your femininity, and that's through your mind, body, and spirit. Okay. So last week we talked about our mind. We went back in and we talked about emotional intelligence and how, when we're faced with a situation or a tense moment, how we can take a step back and go through certain steps to make sure that we are handling the situation in a certain way. And then remember, I told you guys it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing, but a lot of times when there are negative emotions or um, experiences that I don't want to say fluster us, but experiences that get our emotions more involved, that tends to be the time where our emotional intelligence becomes the most crucial. So we went through steps on doing that. We talked about how to take a moment and just pause from everything, before reacting, just taking a pause. We talked about taking a step back and analyzing the situation. What's happening? Why is it happening? Is the person trying to get you upset? Are they trying to explain what's happening in the scenario? Are you guys out in public? Are you around friends or around family? Analyzing the situation, okay, and then going back to decide what your desired outcome is from the situation. Is your desired outcome to get your point across or to share how you feel? Is your desired outcome peace? Is your desired outcome, whatever it may be? And then after you decide what the desired outcome is, going back to the situation and saying, okay, how do I respond to this situation in a feminine way so that I can get the desired outcome that I want, whatever it is. And even if it's not completely getting the desired outcome, that would lead me closer to my goal of whatever my desired outcome is, right? I gave the example, if you're in an intense situation, you're going back and forth with somebody and your desired outcome is peace or to be with the person long term, right? Let's say if let me pick one. Let's say your desired outcome is peace. You can't think about it. You're tired of hearing them. You just want peace. Well, I know if I want peace in the scenario, me telling them, "Oh my gosh, could you just be quiet?" It's probably not gonna get the outcome that I want. That might be how I feel, okay? But if my desired outcome is peace, I know saying that isn't gonna necessarily get to that desired outcome, okay? So we talked about mine, specifically going a little bit deeper as it relates to emotional intelligence last week. This week we are going into body. I ended last week. Sorry for smacking. Go ahead. Go ahead, Juanita. You have a question?
So before you get into your new topic, I just wanted to make you proud.
Okay.
And ladies, I listen to you. You think we're not listening, but we are. Like I told you the week before, I heard what you said. How do I want to look when I walk into a room? What does femininity look like to me? So today there was a situation with my boss, And I said a little prayer to God. God, please help me because you know my facial expressions. So you told me to be mindful of my facial expressions. I received the feedback.
Okay.
I took a moment. I felt like I was going to react, and I caught it, and I took a breath, and I
Yes.
let her talk, and I said, "Okay, thank you. That's very helpful." So thank you,
Go.
Kiki.
That's a win.
Oh my!
That is a win. When I
Thank
tell
you.
you, because knowing it and walking it out is two totally different things. And when I tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I made the joke um last week. I don't know if I said it on the call or if I said it after the call. But I made the joke last week, and it wasn't even a joke, it was real. And I said, it's interesting when I have to have these conversations, right? Because I have to go and prepare, and I'm studying and outlining all of these things. And it forces it to come back to my memory, but I'm always challenged by it. It's like every time I release it, it's like it comes back to be like, hey, do you believe what you said? Are you practicing what you're preaching? And child, let me tell you, it has been a day. It
Oh
has been
boy.
a day, and I did
Okay.
not want to have emotional intelligence at all. I wanted to say what I wanted to say, and child, bloop, 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 bloop. I wanted to not be feminine or fit or nothing. I wanted to be nasty and strong, flipping over stuff. But I didn't respond at all. So that's my win for today.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
That is my win for today, too. I'm like, I said, see there. I told my boyfriend, I'm like, see, this is crazy. I was like, I can't make this up. Can't make it up. But yes, it is helpful to have it in our forefront. And then when those tests arise, you're like, oh, I know what this is. Oh, I know what this is. And it makes you feel so good when you pass the test, right? It's like, man, I wanted to say it, and you know how sometimes it is, you be like, oh, I should have said, or oh, I should have. But when you can be like, you know what? I am working on being a better version of me. And I know I'm not going to be perfect all the time, but I am being intentional with what I'm doing. And that test today, I passed. Now they better not say nothing. I'm just playing.
Right? They better not. They better. Okay.
That better be it. Let me hurry up and get out this office before you say something else.
It is so true.
But so, and it's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And if anybody else has anything to share, or any questions during the process, feel free to pause me. um but you actually made for an even better transition into what we're going in today. So we did mine, we're talking about the emotional intelligence, and today we're going a little bit deeper with it. And talking about body. So we have a couple of not categories, we have a couple of points to hit. And one of them is talking about their body language and facial expressions and all of that. So we'll get into it. So the first things first with body, it is in the most practical sense, this is a feminine and fit challenge, right? So femininity as it comes to your body. Y'all, we have to take care of ourselves, right? So of course we all want certain aesthetics. We want to look a certain way. We want to feel a certain way, all of those things. But scratch all of that, right? A way of practicing self-love is to take care of your body. And a lot of times taking care of your body goes directly against the easier ways to get the aesthetics of your body. What do I mean, right? Nothing against anybody who does any plastic surgery. That's your choice. Do what you do. It ain't none of my business. However, what I notice is a lot of times people will get certain surgeries done and they're like, oh, that's it. And they don't realize, like, hey, a lot of times before you even go into the surgery, you have to work out. Some people have to drop a certain amount of weight to do certain things, tummy tucks, the the I can't remember what it's called, but the band that they put over it to make certain things that you have to do to even have the surgery in the first place. And then once you have the lap band, exactly. And then afterwards, you still have to work out. You still have to work out. And if you don't have certain habits in place, a lot of people get sick. I remember um, I knew someone who had the lap band done, and she was sick. Matter of fact, two people. She was sick all of the time. Now, of course, there's a certain recovery process that you go through, but her mental wasn't there, right? And she was in the mindset of just eating to eat. Wasn't hungry to need any food, but it was a habit that she had built over years. It could have started from, the child. We don't know where it came, right? She just had a habit of eating stuff, whether it's stressed, happy, whatever. So after this surgery, the habits didn't change. And so she was literally hurting herself even more than if she would have just said, forget it, let me just stay like this. Because now she's had this surgery and she's literally like, your stomach went from this big to this big, and you're still trying to pile it with food. And so you're throwing up 2, 3, 4 times a day. And we all know that, like, that's not really healthy. And at some point, this is stretching and pulling and popping or whatever. And then there's a lady I went to church with back in the day too, and she ended up passing away, right? And that's not to say that you get these surgeries and you're gonna die, because sometimes people get surgeries and they're fine. Sometimes people get surgeries and honey, they look good. You be like, oh, I might, I'm not gonna lie, after I have some kids, I'm gonna try to get these bad boys done. I ain't even gonna lie. So if y'all see it, just be like, I see you, girl. Okay. But it's not all that to say. Whatever your choice is, as far as that go, is your choice. But just remember that it's deeper than that. And practicing self-love, especially if you have kids, you have family members, or even if it's just the people you interact with on a daily basis, it's your job. You're needed and necessary. And in order for you to walk out the purpose in your life, you have to be healthy, right? Certain things, like the way that the world is now, like I don't know if y'all been peeping it like I've been peeping it, but it's been some weird stuff happening, like even here in Panama with the protests. It just seems like the entire world is like low key in chaos, right? And I'm not saying that to bring any fear or anything, because fear is faith in evil. But just being aware of certain things, right? So if there's ever a moment where you need to get on and you need to sprint and jump over something and get over something, you need to be able to do those things. And more so than ever, it's become real. Like, Zay, I don't know if you remember back in the day, I used to say, I was that we're especially when Raj was training with me. I used to say we're training for a zombie apocalypse, and I used to talk about him and all the kids and how he gonna have to save them and be messing with him. I don't know if you remember me saying
Yes,
that.
I
Yeah,
do.
so like I used to have them when I was actually training in person, and was at a gym. I am flipping tires and jumping over stuff and laying on the ground and jumping up in the air and taking off running, just doing the craziest stuff. And I'm like, hey, like if a life happens or a situation happens, this motion is not what's needed, right? When people go to the gym, they do this motion, they do this. You need to be able to get up, to stand up, to move your own body weight and things like that. So keep that in mind. And I think that if we start to think about working out and the way that we eat and the things that we're consuming, even on self-pleasure days, because I love me a glass of wine here and there, maybe something a little stronger here and there. But even thinking about in situations like that is, am I taking care of myself, or how can I take care of myself better in a way that is practicing self-love, right? Because if we're doing these affirmations, we're saying all of these positive things, and we're like, I love me, I'm going to love the woman that I am, and all of this, it's like, prove it. Show yourself that you love you consistently. Y'all fall off, even me, okay? Like I told y'all before, I have a billion before pictures, so it's not even about a before and after. It's simply about being intentional about taking care of yourself and your body, okay? So that's the first part of it, all right? And then the second part that I wanted to go into is, how do I want to do this? I think I want to do this reversed. I'll do it the way I have it written down. But what Juanita was talking about earlier is body language, okay? Body language. And body language can go into so many different things. Like, really, we could have like 20 discussions under the topic of body when dealing with femininity, right? But body language a lot of times speaks before our mouth even opens. Okay. So when we were talking about how we walk in the room and we're talking about painting with our bodies, people perceive you before you even know that people are looking at you. And I assure you guys, there's a lot of people that you might not even notice that they were there, and they see you and they watch, and body language is everything. Um, I have now that I'm kind of growing a little bit, especially on social media, I'll get DMs sometimes and be like, "Hey, I saw you here," and I'm like, "Well, why you didn't say nothing?" Like you should have been like, "Hey, girl," you know what I mean? But I'm like, man, now what if I was over there, you know, no sound, but my body language looks like I'm irritated or talking to somebody, or you know, and me and my mom has had this conversation before too, but I'm like, a person's perception often is their reality, right? And we know that sometimes it seems like people just want to see stuff, right? They want to be like, draw the conclusion for some kind of drama or something. But sometimes it actually is our body language and the way we're coming across to people, right? So if I'm looking at somebody, even if I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, this girl, I was like, oh, she cute. I love them shoes, right? But if I'm here and I'm like, oh, she cute. Oh, I love them shoes. My face is looking like I'm sizing this person up, like, and then people will be like, oh, well, no, that's just my face. It's like, yeah, it's okay if that's just your face, but you have to be aware of it and be intentional to try to work to improve it, not necessarily because of what somebody's going to think, but because our femininity, that positive energy that we can give out, we have to be intentional about it, number one, but it can better help us get to our desired outcome. So let's say that same thought is coming across as, oh, you're looking down and up like you're sizing somebody up. And if I'm looking and I'm smiling, I'm like, yes, girl, I love the shoes. Now all of a sudden the situation is a little bit lighter. It's a little bit, the person is more receptive whether you know them or not. And you never know, that could be the person that gives you your next business opportunity, your next collaboration. You never know who people are. Sometimes you do, but it's good to just practice good habits and to be aware of what your body is doing, and also your face. Also your face. And so um last year I really had to focus in on it a little bit more. Again, me and my mom were talking about it. We were doing this live called Below the Whistle. We had it going for a while, and it was pretty intense. Like, we talked about some interesting, sometimes I'll drop some stuff in the group that'll be a little like, oh, where's she going with this? But like, it was, we went there. Like, we went there talking about some deep stuff. And I remember having a conversation with her because it was me and her, and then we'd always bring on special guests, sometimes other men, depending on what the topic was, and to get the men's perspective, sometimes other ladies. And my mom, if she disagreed with something, she was like, and I had to remind her, I'm like, Mom, like, your face is in the camera. Like, it's not a body shot, it's your entire face. So even if somebody is saying something that you don't like, you have to be aware, which a lot of times is easier said than done. You have to be aware and even give a slight, to pretend like you listen. In your head, you might be like, you're an idiot. But if you, it's just different. And that kind of put it very closely in perspective, because even with this is literally my face. Like, it's right there. So business, I'm sorry, Juanita, were you saying something? I saw you come off of mute for a second there.
No, I was just saying you're really right about um, being mindful, and sometimes you're not. When
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Zoom, a friend of mine, she'll send me a text, fix your face, fix your face. So you're right. You're right.
And even so, okay, I'm not saying do this, but even a lot of things are virtual now, right? those meetings that could have been sent in the email. Like, why are we having a meeting? Why do y'all want the cameras on? This meeting is about nothing. I could actually be doing work if we weren't having this meeting right now. And there's always somebody that want to ask another question about something that they should already know or that we was already answered, right? And so let's say if you're doing something else, right? Let's say you have your computer set up and maybe your phone is here. Maybe you're watching Netflix. Who knows? But your phone is here, or your computer's here, your phone is here, and you're sometimes a little nod, and occasionally you're not just like, smiling, but a little soft smile, a little face. If you want to seem engaged, go back down, pretend to be typing. I'm not, I know how this sounds. I've done it a few times, but I'm not telling you to, but I'm just saying your facial expression can make a difference for communication business wise and also in person. So let's go back to, for a quick second, to where we're talking about those intense situations from last week, right? And we talked about not over talking people during the situation. And we also talked about listening to what they're saying. And if somebody is saying something, and let's say you're silent, and you're like, I don't know about y'all, but for me, if somebody's doing that to me, I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I don't have to, well, I didn't say anything. It can be what makes or breaks the conversation, the situation to get the desired outcome that you want, right? So even when somebody's talking in your head, I'll say it all the time, in your head, you may be thinking you are a complete idiot just looking at them, and not looking at them like the look either, but just a soft face. If you need to, you feel your face twitching a little bit, look out to the side and do a head nod. And the face, but also the body language. If you're sitting down like this, if your arms are folded, because right here, this motion right here, it gives, I don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't really care what you're saying. You might be cold. It might be cold. As a person who was always cold, even out here living in this 80+ degree weather, my arms are like this in air conditioning. So if somebody's talking to you and you're like this, maybe it's cold and you're just like, ooh. But it gives from the outside looking in, it gives the perception that you're not interested in what a person is saying. And if your desired outcome is A, B, C, or D, maybe it's to make peace or to let your boss know that you need a raise, or you hearing what they're saying, or maybe they're correcting you on something. Who knows what it could be? This motion, it doesn't work. So being more open, right? So making sure not your legs, but your chest, your shoulders are down, you're not head up. So you're making eye contact. Even if sometimes when I think about making eye contact, it makes it hard for me to make eye contact. So even if you need to just find a place on their eye, find a little eyelash, or look, glance away, look back, especially if it's a public space, it's a little bit easier to do your lookaways for like brain relief for a second. So you're looking and you're nodding and you glance over here and you're like, you know, but making sure that that body language isn't saying something different than what you're saying, right? Because, and not even saying something different, because your brain could be thinking, ooh, I can't go to jail. Can't do it. Can't do it. But your body language needs to be saying, okay, I'm listening, right? I'm listening. I'm open to what's being said. And so while you are going through this process of taking a second, going through that emotional intelligence, taking a second, thinking about your desired outcome, analyzing the situation where you are or whatever, you still have to be aware of that body language, because the body language could cause a trigger that causes another trigger. So imagine being in an intense situation, right? You're like, ooh, all right. This is the example that Kiki was talking about. It's happening in real life. I'm like, ooh, okay. What I want my desired outcome to be? Let me chill. And then all of a sudden, it's somebody goes, well, since you don't care, you're like, I'm literally over here praying, Lord, help my face. And you have the nerve to tell me I seem like I don't care. It's just, it kind of like everything that you've been trying to do, it just goes out the window now because now you heed it, right? But it could be the body language. Not to say that things aren't just going to happen because they happen, but just being aware on what your body is doing affects the interactions that you're having. Same thing, dating or a relationship, right? What is your body language saying? And being very aware and intentional when it comes to this. Now, believe it or not, I'm kind of awkward when I actually like somebody. People tell me all the time, it's like, oh, you're so like friendly and flirty. And I'm like, what? I'm not like not flirty. Like, I'm not even interested. Now, let it be somebody I'm interested in and I like, I'm over there like, hey, like the most awkward person in the world. But being able to give that energy that's inviting, that's light, but also not aggressive. One thing that I had an issue with, if somebody tries to talk or flirt, I'm like, oh, okay. And you play that like hard to get type thing, right? And it was like, well, dang, I really liked him. Well, why didn't it go any further than that? Well, your energy showed this you weren't interested. You were very closed off. You turned away, you know, there was no eye contact, or you talked and then you looked this way, you gave, stop talking to me. And I told you I've been doing a lot of research and studying about this femininity thing. And with a couple of things that I've watched, um, and it has kind of like opened my mind to think a different way. But if you think about it, right? So as women, most of the time, sometimes we approach, or sometimes we let them know that we're ready to be approached, right? But it has to be the most intimidating thing in the world to be like, wow, I like that lady. She looks good, but now I gotta go and try to talk to her. And I have to try to find a way to like bedazzle, I don't know if that'll be the word, but kind of finesse her to like me back enough to give me her number or to invite her on a date or to invite her to. That can be so intimidating. And so in a man's mind, if he's done got this together and he done went through his thing, okay, well, let me put my shoulders back. Let me, try to be smooth, or lack of being smooth, and to come to approach you and you're like, oh no, oh no, I'm good. In your head, you're like, I'm just let him know that I'm not interested. But it could be like a letdown. It could be like crushing. And then imagine that happening over and over, right? Especially for somebody who's dating and looking for someone. And it's like 5 to 10 times a week you get turned down. At some point you're gonna be like, whatever, or you'll be less likely. You're like, okay, if they just come up, I will. Or if I can get in the circle in the mix and become a friend, and then maybe I'll slide it in, right? It kind of can be intimidating. So this is just as a side note. Um, and I had this conversation with my guy as well. Now, anybody who approaches me, whether it's the homeless man on the street, and I'm just like, now, Mr. John with the two teeth, did you really think that I was gonna be your wife? In your head, but I'm just like, oh, well, no, thank you. I appreciate always just showing like, hey, I'm not interested, but I am still giving you this positive feminine energy and letting you know I appreciate you having the courage to come up and speak to me. So I might be like, oh no, I'm dating somebody right now. Even if I wasn't, I'm not interested, but I'm trying to let you down easy. Oh no, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm dating someone right now, but I really appreciate it. Now, if they keep talking or doing too much and you're interested, then you get, whatever. But just keeping it nice, friendly. And then the other way around, if you are being interested, making sure that your body language is showing, make sure that you're open. Okay. If somebody is sitting right here, let me see. If somebody's over here and you're this way and you're talking to them and you, even if you are being friendly and talking, it's still closed off. It's still not inviting them to say more. Even if you're saying nothing and you're this way, you're reaching for something, even if it's a smile, whatever it is, it's more open and it's more inviting. And also being aware from it. Remember, we talked about those desired outcomes. If I am wanting to not be open, I have to be aware of my body language and say, okay, am I giving available? Okay. People are going to talk to you guys because you're beautiful women anyway, right? But if you're not available and you ain't trying to give available energy, you have to see, is my body language showing that I'm more available than I am? Right. But just being aware of all of those things and paying attention. And, there's things on YouTube. If you want to go through some specifics, I can pull a couple of things and drop them in the group if you guys would like. But just paying attention to how you move in the world and how your body language and your facial expressions can actually affect the energy and the dynamic of whatever room it is for whatever reason. Even if it's a networking opportunity, being open to meeting other people, a slight smile. I put something in the group. I think it was week one, um, with a girl talking about smiling, right? And I remember, I remember back in the day, people used to be like, "Oh, Shakira is my first name for those of you who don't know." But I'm like, "Oh, Shakira's so fake. She's just always just happy, whatever, whatever." And in my head, I'm like, I actually was trying my best to have an attitude because you made me mad, but I just forgot and I just accidentally talked to people, right? But sometimes it's helpful to have a friendly smile on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like anybody who has something to say about a smile is like, yeah, you're the weird one, not me. You know what I mean? It's okay to smile. Now, if you're not just a person that's cheesy, I'm not saying walk around like, you know. But if you feel like smiling or that's okay with you, or you want to work on your smile, try it. See how it feels. Get your face and your body comfortable with a pleasant face and even if it's not showing teeth, but a pleasant smile, right? And actually look in the mirror. You can do some warm ups like Bria, used to do in the acting world, a big face, a little face, big face, little face, get those muscles moving and see how your face looks. Like, what does my resting face look like? Okay, how can I slightly lift the eyebrow or open up my eyes wider to give an interested look or a lighter look, especially if you are one of those people who might have the resting bitch face or has issues with your facial expression. But just, and sometimes you might be in the mirror laughing at yourself like, girl, did you just do a big face, a little face with me? You know what I mean? But it helps. And again, it's all about your desired outcome. And you'll be surprised how little things can affect the ultimate goal for whatever it is for your life, your career, relationships, whatever. And then the last thing that I wanted to cover under the body section of it is attire, right? Attire, the things that we wear. I'm gonna be honest, I love to be naked. It is what it is. But when I say naked, I am not saying trashy. I'm not saying cheeks out. I'm not saying doing too much, right? And it's being aware of what certain attire makes other people feel or gives off, right? I'll give you an example. If I am like, okay, my desired outcome is to have a significant relationship or to be married and have kids and all, whatever, and I'm wearing certain things, I might give off one night stand. Now, I might not be that type of girl. That might not be, I might have just came to get some drinks with some friends. But my attire, along with my body language, along with my interactions, can give off something that is not there or that I'm not trying to. So I have to be aware of it. Um, and I'm not saying that you guys have to have this rule of thumb, but I'll share mine. So my rule of thumb is if I want to be spicy, right, I'm going to do one or the other. So if I'm wearing a short dress, which I hate short dresses, by the way, because I hate pulling it down and I just be having like anxiety the whole night. But if I'm wearing a short dress, I'm wearing my cleavage, all of that's covered. Okay. If I know some cleavage or it's just a lot up here, I'll be longer pants. Unless I'm with my significant other and he's like, hey, I want you to wear this. Or, you know, it's a different scenario. You know what I mean? And I'll ask you guys what you think about this as well. I'm going to put the question out there and I'm going to keep going and I'll let you guys respond in a little bit. But I wanted to put it out there. What do you think about asking your significant other or speaking with your significant other about things that you can and cannot wear? Okay. And I'm being specific with the wording for that for a reason. Um, but me personally, there are certain things that I may wear when I'm out with my significant other that I wouldn't wear if I was out with the girls. And it's just realizing, that it's regardless of what we say, we could be like, well, this is me, this is my body, this is whatever. The thing is, the outside perception makes a difference. Okay, Bria, no problem. Have a good day. Um, but it definitely makes a difference. It makes a difference. And if something that you're wearing can go directly against your desired outcome, you don't want to do it, or at least you want to be aware of it, right? Also, too, with attire, wearing things that are flattering for your body, right? Um, if you know you have a little bit of a gut, you might not want to wear a bodycon dress. Or if you do, find something that has like the peplum around the mid area, or find something that has ruffles or certain patterns so that it's not just pushing it out there. Okay. If you have longer legs, you might be like, you know what? I hate up here, but at least I got some nice legs. Show off the legs, where you can maybe wear a shorter dress, but maybe a little bit looser. Show your legs, put on some pumps. Like, look at yourself and decide what your assets are, right? And then sometimes the assets that we have, we don't even process them like that. People go, "Oh, you have great legs." We're like, "What? Oh, these scars? Oh no." But taking the time, and again, YouTube University is is the joint. You can go and look up certain body types and types of um apparel or attire that's more appealing for certain body frames, right? And because we all want to look and feel good. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm dressed up, I got a little lip balm. I'm not really a big makeup person, but I will put on some lipstick quick. When I was in the States, I get my lashes done. I found a place here where I can get my lashes done for $10. So I'm gonna have my lashes done this weekend if I can get in place around this protest. But just doing some things to make you feel good and being like, okay, be okay with being like, okay, I got my hair done. I'm feeling good and walking in that confidence and being like, I got my hair done. Let me go put on some clothes. Let me spray a little perfume on me. Let me go out, instead of grabbing this food and bringing it back to the house, let me go sit somewhere by myself, bring in a book or a laptop or my phone. Maybe it's just myself. Maybe I just want some alone time with myself and the menu and the food and walk in that confidence, walk in the room, paint, practice your interaction with the waiter, the waitress, or what do you call the people at the door? The greeters at the door. Hey, can I have a table for one? Practice your body language. Scan the room. It could be somebody that you're like, I am 100% not interested in him, but I'm going to see if I can produce body language, interaction, softness, eye contact, slight smiles in order to get this person to come speak to me. Hey, men do it all the time. They're like, oh, let me see if I can get her. I'm not saying you gotta be like in a relationship or intimate or anything like that, but just play with this femininity and don't be afraid to walk in it and try it out. It's uncomfortable, it's weird, and it can sometimes be scary. I get it, but being able to use the femininity to get your desired outcome, it makes a difference. I promise you. I promise you. Okay. And you'll start to notice ways and situations you're like, what? I wonder if my femininity kind of worked this out for me. I wonder if I had a different personality or a different presence, would this situation or this opportunity be here? Right. And remember, having that femininity and even the body language and all that, that doesn't mean that you're passive. You can still say what you need to say, get what you need to do, but it just means that you might not be as aggressive, And when I say as aggressive, I don't mean bowing down or back to get done what you need to do or say what you need to say, but just allowing that softness to be a part of yourself. Just like I gave you guys the homework in our first week to be painting with our body. Like imagine telling somebody about their self and being light and feminine and just like, actually, no, no, ma'am, we're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this over here. We're going to do this. You're going to do that. We're going to be great. We're going to be happy, right? Okay. So I need you to go over here and handle this and blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much. Would you mind taking this for me? It's like, dang, she just got us together real nicely, you know? So playing with it. And then when you can start to see it produce and yield to you, you'll start being like, oh, like, I want to do that a little bit more. And let me see how I can do that. But it's just a matter of being aware of everything. So, like, even with everything that I talked about from, your personal body as far as health, your goals for how you want to look, being healthy, all of that body language and attire. Some of it you're gonna be like, well, I don't agree with that. Oh, I do, but just understanding that it's a thing, right? Um, like my mom has a fit. Like anytime I work out, most of the time I'm in a sports bra and shorts or pants. She's like, oh, she's kind of used to it now, but she used to be like, oh, you got your stomach out. Like, you're an evangelist. And I'm like, some church people don't sing the stomach before they, okay. I'm like, I'm not going to church with my stomach out, And so that's another thing to consider too is time, location, and who you're with as far as wearing certain things, right? Because it makes a difference. Wearing this here or in the gym is okay, but let's say going to a business meeting, maybe not. If I'm leaving the gym and then grabbing somebody to talk over business something, maybe not. Maybe if it's in the fitness industry, perhaps. But just putting everything in perspective, adding in that femininity and using it for your benefit. Okay. Um, so have any more? Did you guys have any questions or anything for me? Any feedback on what was talked about?
Um, well, I think I like everything you talked about tonight. I like the way that you're bringing everything together with mind, body, and spirit. Um,
So,
so helpful, and the practicing self-love, that's a challenge for me. So this is helpful. It's helpful.
yes.
I'm on
And
that
no,
journey now. I'm definitely on that journey. Yeah.
and it doesn't end, man. Like sometimes I feel like when I take a second and I look at how far I've come, I'm like, okay. But sometimes I'm just like, man, I was like, ooh, like, I have to stop. I said I was gonna stop saying this, but in the past, I'll say the past, I can be so awkward. Like I just feel like I'm walking into a room like awkward turtle, but just letting it down and you're like, you know what? It doesn't matter if I'm awkward. I'm trying not to be. I'm working on certain things. I'm working on my body language and all that, but I'm here and I'm
Right.
amazing. Even when I don't feel like I'm amazing, I still am. And that's
Yep.
why we're going to do those affirmations. So it's like at some point, it might not be all of the days, but some one of those days you're gonna look at even like, you know what, I am confident and secure with the woman I am. And I've even found myself saying that one specifically on accident. Like, maybe a interaction or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm confident and secure with the woman I am. And I'm like, bars, did you just drop an affirmation in this conversation? Like, you know,
Yeah.
but it's a
Yeah.
it's a thing and it's a
I'm looking
process.
forward to that. Um,
Yeah.
I have a lot of energy. Um, and sometimes people don't receive the energy well. But I
Mm-hmm.
said I'm not going to downplay who I am because they can't receive the energy. So that's what I'm working on. Like you said, eventually
Absolutely.
I'm going to say, I don't care. I don't care. This is my energy and it's me. It's who I am. So
Mhm.
yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. And kudos to you for that. You had some wins this meeting.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it. I
Thank you.
love it. Lization, were you
Wonderful.
saying something? I saw you come off of mute a little bit.
No, so I was just saying I agree with everything you're saying. And like my entire life, I have had like great confidence, even with the weight and everything. But the older I get, I realize like self-love is your weight, your body, the things you're eating, it plays a big part and it tells like how you really truly feel about yourself. But I'm just like, okay, I know I work on my body, my mind. I try to work on my body, my spirit, and everything else, but I can't get the body right. I'm just like, I don't know where I'm lacking when it comes to the discipline in that area in my life. And
So one
I
thing that
also,
I can say, Lization, not to cut you off, one thing that I
uh-huh,
can say, but the first thing is changing the way you speak, because you said that's the one thing that I can't. You can, I
okay,
don't know if you noticed a little bit earlier, I said, let me not say that I'm awkward. Let me say that I was awkward.
okay,
If you ask somebody today, they might be like, nah, girl, you awkward. But
right,
telling
okay,
yourself that you're not, and if you tell yourself something over and over again, whether it's good or it's bad, it'll be right.
right.
It will be
And
right.
that's true. That is
Wow.
very true. It
Wow.
and it's true, like even with my body now, and probably won't believe this, but everybody have their body goal. My body goal was not what everybody else's body goal was. As a child, my body goal was one of my plus size cousins, who I thought was the most beautiful woman in the world. And God blessed me with that body goal. But now that I'm older, I see what comes with that body goal, and I'm like, oh Lord, this is not what I want. So now it's like it's a struggle. Hold on one second, y'all know I'm at work.
Oh
But
yeah, put it on mute, Lization. Put it on
hold on.
mute.
Okay. Hello. I'm trying to mute it.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. I find
Hey, how you doing?
now that I'm going through.
Good.
Oh,
There
she's
she go
talking.
with that talking
I
again.
know, right? She didn't mute it.
Look,
Now that I'm going through menopause, I find that it's harder
Mm.
to get the weight off. So
Yeah, I know we
I
were
feel
talking
her,
about
but
that.
I listen to my sister is very supportive and positive. She said, I want you to look at your body every morning and just say, I love my body and I love what my body is doing for me at this moment.
I love that.
So those are two affirmations that I say in the morning now. I say, Juanita, you're beautiful. I love my body. I love what you're doing for me at this moment.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
So
And
it helps.
I think too, when we make body goals, a lot of times it's aesthetics, right? Which we all have an aesthetic that we want, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if we can change our thinking of working out to practicing self-love, I
Right.
think it'll change it. But then also too, like my body goes, yeah, it might be some weight I need to lose, but how's my heart? Okay. So my heart in a I guess like an emotional sense, of course,
Right.
but also in your physical heart. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is my body healthy? Is my body functional? If I were to remove myself out of my body and ask my body, does Kiki love you? What does my body say?
Right.
Right? How is it responding? And everybody will tell you. Now, of course, as we get older, certain things is just going to happen to our bodies anyway, right? And even
Mm-hmm.
with knees, just feel like everybody knees hurt. My knees hurt. Y'all
Yes,
knees
those
hurt.
knees. My goodness.
Everything. But I always tell people too. So of course, I tell you guys to take the before and after pictures. But pay attention to how you feel, how your body moves, right? So of course you're gonna be sore. Of course it's gonna be uncomfortable doing the exercise, but paying attention to, do you notice that you have a little bit more energy? Do you notice that you're a little bit more positive when you work out, right? Because there's actually
True.
hormones that are released when you're working out that generally make you happier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also that alleviate pain. Anytime my cycles come up, I used to have terrible, like, going to the emergency room cycles, right? Now I'm to the
Okay.
point my cycle is coming up. I'm like, okay, leading up to it, I am going hard, right? And
Right.
so part of me initially was like, well, no, because then I'm going to be sore while I'm cramping. But I noticed that my cycles tend to not only be lighter, but I feel better emotionally during the process when I've been active and consistent with the activity. Same
Okay.
thing when I've been eating better, right? I had, I'm saying had, on purpose. I haven't had a surgery or removal or anything like that, but I'm being very intentional with my words. And just as a side note, have you ever heard of somebody saying that they died of a broken heart?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, right. So basically what that is stress, anxiety, hurt, right? That dies from a broken heart or stress or whatever it is, right? My belief is if you can literally kill yourself from stress and all of these negative emotions, imagine what you can do if you're intentionally feeding yourself positive things. It only makes sense. If I can make myself sick with my mind, that means I can also heal myself with my mind. The way that I'm talking to myself. Unfortunately, the world that we live in kind of always passively feeds us this negativity. So we have to be intentional about what we say to ourselves, how we say it. And even when we don't feel it in the moment, making sure that we're like, oh my goodness, I look and feel amazing. Like, I've had this plantar fasciitis since May because I was doing too much. It's a long story. But I'm like, I'm ready for it to get better. I'm just like, I'm so annoyed. I'm like, it's November now. But I'm like, you know what? I feel amazing. And I look good too. I look and feel amazing. Even if at the moment I'm not feeling like that, I'm still saying it. And sometimes I'll be sarcastic saying it. So don't be sarcastic saying it. I'm like, I look and feel amazing. And I'll like kind of roll my eyes to myself. But be intentional about feeding yourself that positivity.
Okay. That's wonderful.
Lization, you done talking to your customers?
Yes, I am done talking.
Where do you work? Where do you work?
I'm a truck driver. Well,
Oh,
I'm a
all right,
truck
trucker.
driver, but
All right, trucker.
yes, but
Nice.
so yeah, that's what I'm doing.
But what else were
But
you saying? Did you have anything else?
so I actually don't kill me, don't. But I actually had surgery a while back.
Okay.
I had surgery, and so I do understand like what you were saying earlier when you were talking about like eating and like the overeating. Now I don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't. But the consuming, the stuff I consume, like I eat a lot of sugar, but well, no, I drink a lot of coffee. That's what I do. So
Mm-hmm.
I may not eat nothing for. I might not eat nothing all day long, but I've been had about 5 iced coffees full of sugar. So I do understand, like, that with the surgery, people have the surgery. And my weight, I did lose a good amount of weight. I lost like over 100 pounds, but I think I've gained some back. I don't really get on the scale any longer, but I can tell how my body looks that I have gained quite a few pounds back. But
So it's time to get back to it, and that's okay. You know what it is. So you know what it is. You have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, this is coffee. I know you're driving trucks, so the caffeine, you might not be able to just get rid of it, especially not altogether, but do it sugarless. Like if you looked on the list, it's black coffee. I had some coffee yesterday. I was on a photo shoot and it was wine in one scene and coffee in the other scene, but I wanted some coffee. But I did my coffee black, right? Now, some people hate, but I don't know if I'm weird, but I actually like black coffee. But it's like, if you're saying, hey, I'm drinking this coffee to give me some energy so that I can complete my job, it's going to make you drink only the coffee that you need to get that job done. And then finding alternatives as well. Like we live in the world of Chat GPT and AI. Type it in. What are alternatives for energy? Or say, hey, I'm a truck driver. What are healthier alternatives for energy? It's plenty of stuff. I know one thing is pure honey and sea salt you can do. That's what we use as an alternative for pre-workout. Does it give you pre-workout energy? Absolutely not. But it helps, but it helps. And over time, your body will start to get used to it. And when you're taking some of these toxic things out, like the energy drinks, and your body can kind of come down from that it may be more sensitive to a more natural thing. But if you're flushing it with lighter fluid, and then all of a sudden you want to give it a leaf, your body's like, what? Give me the hard stuff, you know?
Right.
So, but yes. So we
Oh,
are.
you had a question for us. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. What was the question? What did I ask?
No,
Oh
I
yeah,
said
what
you
was your
had a
question?
question for us. You had a question for us about
Right. We're supposed to
how
get
do we
back to
fit?
you.
Yeah,
About what do y'all think about asking your significant other or spouse about your attire?
yeah, that was the question.
So what's your
Okay,
feedback? Tell me what you think.
you can go ahead.
Okay. I'm not with anyone right now, but I could speak from my past. My
By the way, I'm just
ex-husband.
staring at your face, smiling at me. I'm like, I can't see nobody, so I'm just like looking at your picture.
Oh, let me take myself off camera. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
should
I
have did
just
that
realized.
before. I didn't even realize that. Okay, here I am. Am I here?
There
Yeah.
you go. Hey.
So, my ex-husband, in the beginning, when we were dating, I had on these I want to say spandex, purple spandex. We were gonna go out. So he came to the house and he was like, I'm not fighting anybody. You're gonna have to take those off. It's not gonna work, Nita. It's not gonna work. So I
And
changed.
how did you feel about it?
I
You did
did it.
change.
I changed.
Okay.
But there were things that he did want me to wear because he would like guys, because you know I got a big butt, Kiki. I told you that butt age 3. So wear the cat suit tonight. Wear the cat suit. So I'm wearing the cat suit back
Come
in the
on,
day.
Tatsu.
And the guys are like, their heads are breaking. And he's like, yeah, she looks good, right? She looks good, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's a matter of safety too for me. So I respect him in that way. I did respect him in that way. Not to get into a fight with people.
Right, right. Because if
At a
he said, he
club
probably
and
like,
then
no.
this guy is pulling on my hand, but he's there and he's like, oh man, that's my woman. What you doing? You know,
Right.
so I respect that. I do.
Zay, what's your thought? How you feel about it?
I agree. Now, I will say I've been single for a long time, but previously, the past me probably been like, you don't tell me what to do. But the now me is like, yes, I have had a lot of time to, learn myself and learn my past history. So yes, I do agree that, they should be able to tell us what make them feel comfortable and what they feel uncomfortable with us wearing. Like she said about the fight, like even I had a situation and it wasn't even about what I had on. Me and my ex, we was going to just to the store, we was running to the store and I didn't put lotion on. And it's so crazy. It was something as simple as this, but I didn't put lotion on. And before we left the house, he was like, put some lotion on.
Oh,
Okay. He said, put some lotion on. Security, please open the back gate. Thank you. But he was like,
I
put
thought
some
that's what
lotion
he
on.
said. I said, nice. He called security because of the ass.
Oh no. No. But so he was like, put lotion on. So I'm like, man, we just ran into the store. I'm not gonna put no lotion on. I had a dress on, but I'm not thinking nothing of it. And it's so crazy because soon as we walked in the store, a man was like, lotion. And he was like, so he done turned around, was like, mind your motherfucking business. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, but you just told me to put lotion on. Like, why are you getting mad at him for cracking a joke? He was like, because it's none of his business. And by the grace of God, he so happened, like when we look back to figure out who it was somebody he actually knew. But I'm just
okay.
like,
Okay.
I'm thinking it like, I'm thinking it shouldn't be that serious, but just from that experience, I learned, sometimes just listen. You don't got to be hard headed all the time. Just listen. So
you pick and choose.
I definitely
Pick and choose.
Right.
Yeah. And I would agree with you both. And again, it's about that target outcome. If your goal is I'm a strong, independent woman, I don't need no man or whatever, maybe it don't matter to you. For me, yeah, I need a man, honey.
I need a man.
Yeah,
I need a man.
I do too. I'm praying
Look.
God will send someone.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
Look, and we
Right.
getting together with that femininity, and I'm gonna get my after pictures from y'all, but we're gonna have to pull you out a cat suit. We ain't gonna do the married cat suit, but we're gonna do a cat suit, and I need pictures.
All right.
Because
Yes,
I'm putting you
I'm
right
with
on
you.
the feminine and fit page. Like Here is
Yeah.
Juanita. Congratulations on successfully finishing this challenge. Like, yes. Well, so go ahead and start looking. Go ahead and pull up some online links or go to the store, whatever, because I need my cats.
I love it. I love it.
But
Yes.
but yeah, it's all about the desired outcome, right? So if I'm like, hey, my desired outcome is long-term family marriage, that means first off, anybody that I'm dating and I'm taking serious, they have to have the potential to be my lead, right? So now I'm
Exactly.
looking at situations, not only my emotion, not only how fine they are, how they talk to me, or anything like that, but it's also certain practical things like, are you financially secure, right? And even if your
Mm-hmm.
finances aren't just crazy good or anything like that, are you a driven person? Do you work hard?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, not could you, do I see the potential for you to, if we work on it and we can have a conversation about it, I'm talking to you, but without me giving my input, what do you do? And that comes back to sometimes we just got to be quiet. We talk so much about what we don't want and you better not, and I
Mm-hmm.
hope you're not. Sometimes it pays to just sit back and see what a person does.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a
What
person
do they
could have
do?
money too, Kiki, but not have respect for women. And that's what happened in
Exactly.
my situation. They had money, they didn't have respect. So I had to get out of it.
And
I think that's more
it'll
normal
always
than
show
not.
you.
It was the hardest thing though, because I tried to give them, I think I stayed in the relationship too long,
Mm-hmm.
trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but no, I
And
come
if we're
first.
honest, we know, right? So the
Yeah.
dating process is you scoping out a person to see if you could be the suitor, but just being honest and being like, this is what I noticed with myself in the past,
Okay.
right? And with other women is sometimes we try to have so much, and I'm gonna let you guys go in about 4 minutes too,
Okay.
but we try to have so much control. We try to push what we want, and he better not be doing this, and he better not
Right.
be doing that, and checking to see and who is this and who and that. But sometimes if we just chill out, we can see how a person moves.
Mm-hmm.
If we are
Mm-hmm.
always looking and asking questions and talking, which questions are important, especially when dating somebody for, like for a lifetime potential, asking questions are important, but sometimes people will show us exactly what we need to see. They will tell us exactly
Mm-hmm.
what we need to hear if we just chill out and watch,
Right.
right? But I
Right.
said all of that to say is if you're going through this process with the person and it's your significant other, ideally they are in the position to be your head to guide you. So if somebody you're saying, hey, I trust you to be my head, my lead, the man in my household, you
Mm-hmm.
should trust them to be able to tell you, no, you don't need to do that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And you
Right.
should respect them enough that if they like, baby, I want to see you in this. You might be
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable. You might be like, I got this hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Get it together. Sometimes, if certain things just make you uncomfortable, it's okay to express that, but put that thing on.
Right.
Because you're gonna have a
Mm-hmm.
problem if Susie down the street wanna put it on for him. And it's like, well, you said no.
Okay.
Right.
This is what
Okay.
he likes. He told you what he likes. He
Right.
wants it from you. And you
Right.
talking about your love handle. Maybe he wants something to hang on to, girl. Like,
Hello. Right.
so it goes both ways. But again, it's just all about that desired outcome. And I definitely agree with you guys there too. And certain things I realized that in the past, in
Mm-hmm.
some women, we fight back so much for stuff that don't really matter. It's like, even with the
Mm-hmm.
lotion, it's like, it's
Just put
lotion,
the lotion on, girl.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I don't feel like it. Yeah, we just going to the store. Like, boo, it's Walmart. We ain't got time. Let's just go to Walmart. I don't feel like it. You want me to go back up the stairs and do
Right.
yes, but
Right.
it's like this ain't even a worth of friction or back and forth. Whether that situation happened in the store after or not.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just easier to be like, okay, and go up the stairs. Now,
Right.
Right.
while you going up the stairs, you might
Yeah. You make faces. Right.
go circle just a little bit, but it's for the desired outcome that you want. Will
Mm-hmm.
me
Mm-hmm.
responding to this or saying no to this get me further away from the outcome that I want? Will it cause an unnecessary friction, a potential whatever, good, small or large? Because after a certain amount of little bitty icks, it's kind of like, yeah,
Right.
oh no, it's
Right.
too much pushback. So, but yes, that's all I have for you guys. Anybody have any last questions, comments, concerns before we head off?
Oh, this was wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes, it was
awesome.
good.
The other ladies that missed it, y'all need to come to the next one. We got some more stuff.
Right.
So, the next one, our last one is next week.
Oh,
So,
it's next week. Okay.
So we will have our workout Saturday morning again. Next week. So next week, technically this week was supposed to be body, and I was gonna do the yoga class, but I always end up going over, either cutting it too much short, just because there's so much to cover under body, and then to try to do the sensual movement and stuff. But what I'm gonna do is I am gonna be in Aruba next week. I'm teaching a class there. I'm going to try to either live stream the class for you guys, or either get it videotaped and record it so that I can share it with you guys. And then I'm going to keep you up to date on the femininity workshop for next week, because I'm not for sure what's on the agenda for the conference at that time. So it may be a little bit different for our last week. But this Saturday we're on as normal. And then Wednesday morning, of course, on as normal as well.
Okay. Saturday, you'll miss me.
Oh,
I have prayer meetings, so I
oh,
can't.
that's good.
The first
Look,
Saturday.
throw us in that prayer. We'll take it.
I will. I will. And Aruba, I have to tell you, Aruba is where I made Jalen.
Oh,
All right then.
That was my honeymoon. Good food.
well, look, let me
Enjoy.
make sure I ain't making nothing over there.
Be careful. Watch the water.
Look, watch the water.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
18 years later.
Listen, and 18 years later, jeez. Man, he's doing good and everything. I know
He's doing good. He's coming home this weekend, so I get to see him.
okay, good. That's good.
Thank you.
Good. But all right, ladies. So I will put up this recording. I'm gonna probably try to. Sometimes it takes forever when I use the phone, but I'm gonna try to download it as well, so that it's on YouTube as well. But either way, I will put the link so that you can go back and watch the recording. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Make sure y'all talk junk in the group.
Yes, we will. We're gonna do that.
All right. Bye. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.